Well, the Mets found their mojo yesterday. Terry Collins and the gang got themselves a win, and today some power back in town. Yeah, the dude is back from the minor leagues, hoping for better times as the Mets conclude their series with the Astros, the last time they'll ever play in the National League. At Citi Field in New York, Pix 11 Sports presents New York Mets baseball today. The Mets play the Houston Astros. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you today as the Mets played the rubber game of their 3-game series against Houston. The Mets snapped their 6-game losing streak yesterday behind R.A. Dickey. And today, after a month in purgatory, Lucas Duda is back from Buffalo, hoping for better times ahead.
Well, you remember Lucas was sent down way back in July 24th. He was mired in a very, very deep slump, went down to kind of hone his swing, get it back. In the 25 games that he played in AAA at Buffalo, he hit .260 with only 3 home runs. But where the Mets are right now, Gary, run him out there every day and let him play the rest of the way and see if he can get his stroke back, get his confidence back. There's no pressure when you come up now. Just come out there, go out there, Lucas, have fun, swing the bat.
Lucas went to the minors as a right fielder. He comes back as a left fielder. Will that make a difference for him?
Oh, that's hard to say. He's really a first baseman, and there was talk about him playing out of position. But you know what? At this stage of the year, with the Mets going nowhere, hey, relax, go have fun, take your swings.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Hefner goes to the mound for the first time since the birth of his daughter earlier in the week. He's had a week to think about his last start in Washington.
Well, he got touched up pretty good in Washington, and he actually had a relief outing in Cincinnati on that road trip, too. At 2-5 on the year, with an ERA over 5. He's looking to get back on the winning track. Never pitched against Houston.
And for the Astros, who are 46 games under 500, one of their real bright spots this year, Lucas Harrell, as a rookie, has a winning record.
Well, 10-9 on a team that's really abysmal, and that says something about the job that he's done. Sinker, slider, pitcher, can throw hard when he has to. It's a little bit surprising for a guy that's only given up 10 home runs and a control pitcher. He's walked 58 batters and 155 in a third innings. That means over 3 per 9. That's too many for him.
So the Mets finish out their homestand on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Mr. Met makes friends wherever he goes. All the action coming your way today on Pix 11. Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. By Skechers, footwear for men, women, and kids. Shop Skechers.com. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. By the Volkswagen Autobahn for All event, visit VWDealer.com. And by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. For the latest news, behind-the-scenes photos, special offers, and much more, follow the Mets on Twitter and Facebook at themets.com/connect. And back from his treasure hunt to talk about the keys of the game. Keith, they're brought to you by Cadillac on the web at CadillacTristate.com. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Well, let's see. What are the Mets in the second half? 1-12-1 in series. They need to win a rubber match here. Let's up that to 5-7. Unforced errors. Hefner. Okay, very good. He's pitching some tough luck. And let's get after the ace here. Make him throw strikes, as I told you. He walks more than 3 per 9 innings. Wait him out.
Very nice, cute tennis theme in the keys to the game with the U.S. Open starting tomorrow. Deserted over there today. It'll be packed tomorrow. Tennis, does that matter?
Sure.
Mets and Astros. Baseball matters. First pitch coming up.
That's a double fault.
Opportunity sales event is here. Around the Majors brought to you by Capital One Bank. What's in your wallet after the blockbuster trade? Adrian Gonzalez first at bat as a Dodger. Second pitch. It's a 3-run homer as the Dodgers thump the Marlins 8-2. Roy Halladay back in form. 7 innings, 7 hits. John Mayberry a 3-run homer. Phillies beat the Nats for the second straight day 4-2. And Jason Hayward's 3-run homer combined with great pitching by Mike Minor. Braves beat the Giants 7-3. Braves now 5.5 behind Washington in the National League East. On a stunning sunny Sunday afternoon. Starting lineup for the Astros brought to you by Lexus and the Golden Opportunity sales event. Rare day off for Jose Altuve, and so Brandon Barnes slots in the leadoff position for the first time in his major league career. Marwin Gonzalez will fill in for Altuve at second. And the former Met Fernando Martinez, who broke up R.A. Dickey's early bid at a perfect game yesterday, slots in the 8-hole against Jeremy Hefner.
Well, Jeremy's going to get his 8th start of the season, his 20th appearance. He's been one of those guys you see right there. The right-handers have been giving him difficulty, and lefties. His ERA above 5. But he goes after you, keeps you in a ball game. And we'll take a look at the defense, and brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. And of course, we all know and remember America runs on Dunkin'. Don't forget that. It's very critical. And Lucas Duda out in left field. First start since July 22nd, 2011 in left. Remember, he was sent down on the 24th of July. So he's back.
Lucas has been playing mostly left field down in Buffalo, a little bit of first base as well after the failed experiment in right field. And Terry Collins was talking today about Duda and how his hitting tailed off as the season went along, and he said he thought that his poor play in right field had a lot to do with that. That as the defense went downhill, that he felt he had to start hitting more home runs, start trying to pull the ball more, got away from using the entire field, and hopefully this will reset Lucas's season.
Well, 6 or 7, a half a dozen of the other, Gare. He's playing out of position, yes. I thought he was getting too passive at the plate, to be honest with you, taking too many fastballs, and then he got into the habit of swinging under the ball too much, and he had that bad slump that he had to go down and relax, try to find it.
Brandon Barnes will lead things off for Houston. Barnes has been playing in center field throughout this series. At .321 at Oklahoma City before being called up. Jeremy Hefner's first pitch of the afternoon on the way, and it's a fastball in for a call strike, and that is the norm for Hefner, who has been a strike thrower, averaging just a walk and a half per 9 innings. 66% of his first pitches have been for strikes, and the second pitch hit out to right field, where Mike Baxter moves back and makes the catch, and Barnes is retired for the first out of the day. So 1 out and nobody on. Now the second baseman Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez making only his 3rd start at second base, filling in for Jose Altuve, who's been the Astros' best player all year, their lone all-star, and getting a rare day off today. Gonzalez started the opening game of the series at third base, 0 for 4 in the series so far. 26-year-old Jeremy Hefner from Perkins, Oklahoma, and he fires a fastball in for a strike. Brett Wallace, the number 3 hitter, on deck for Houston. The Astros in their last 52 games are 8 and 44, and Gonzalez trying to bunt his way on. Hefner got hurt by the home run ball his last time out in Washington. Gave up home runs to Denny Espinosa and Bryce Harper. 5 runs and 8 hits over 5 innings. Took the 5-2 loss, but despite that game, the Mets starting pitching over this last week and a half has been tremendous, back to where it was earlier in the year, as the curveball misses 1 and 2. Starters in the last 8 games have a 2.19 ERA, a stretch of games in which the Mets have not scored more than 3 runs in any game. So they've been playing close, low scoring games every day.
So when you talk about a team that's going bad, they don't run on all cylinders.
Gonzalez down on the high fastball, and Hefner has his first strikeout.
So usually when teams go poorly, you look at the high fastball, the high setup by Chopek and chasing. One aspect of the game is playing well, the other one is not, and that's usually what happens when a team goes bad, and when it really goes bad, none of them are working, obviously.
Now Brett Wallace getting a chance to play first base every day since the trade of Carlos Lee to Miami, and Wallace takes a fastball on the inside, 0-1. So Hefner throwing first pitch strikes to all 3 hitters in this inning. Ben Francisco, the former Philly, waiting on deck, hitting cleanup and playing right field. And Wallace pulls one down the right field line, and that's going to land for a base hit. Baxter over quickly to stop it, and he'll hold Wallace to a single. So Brett Wallace with a 2-out hit, and the Astros have the first base runner of the day.
Down and in fastball in a good spot. He just turned on it. Got on his kitchen a little bit there towards the label. Cut off by Baxter.
So Wallace at first with 2 down, and now Ben Francisco 0 for 4 in this series. Picked up from Toronto a week before the trading deadline.
Francisco, a big swinger. Philadelphia really thought he was going to really give him a right-handed bat that they so desperately need with the overload of left-hand hitters in that lineup.
It's one out to center field, and Andres Torres has a beat on it, and that retires the side. So Hefner cleanly through the first inning, a hit and 1 left. Mets will come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Opportunity sales event. Lucas Duda goes into the lineup in the 5-hole. Andres Torres, who led off yesterday, will again today. Daniel Murphy, after a couple of days off, back in the lineup. He's playing second and batting second. Ruben Tejada batting sixth. First time he's done that. As Terry Collins looks for that winning combination against the rookie right-hander Lucas Harrell.
Well, they picked up Harrell from the White Sox last season in the middle of the year through waivers, and a nice pickup for them. Anytime you got a team that has a losing record, a horrific record such as the Astros, and you've got a winning record as a pitcher, you're doing something right.
Andres Torres 3 for 7 in the series, and Harrell quickly ahead of him 0-2. Harrell, a guy who was a 4th-round pick by the White Sox back in 04 out of high school and never really developed. Had a couple of cups of coffee with Chicago, but eventually was placed on waivers, claimed by the Astros. That's how they got him a year ago July. And just he pounds that sinker over and over. He has a better than 2-to-1 ground ball to fly ball ratio, and that is how he has thrived in his first full year in the major leagues. And the fastball on the inside corner, and Torres down looking for the first out. So Harrell fans the first man to face him.
Fastball in, always a good pitch.
By the way, you got a rookie home plate umpire today. First time we've seen him calling balls and strikes, Dave Rackley. So that's worth keeping an eye on. 2 rookie pitchers and a rookie home plate umpire. Here's Daniel Murphy in a 4 for 40 slump right now, and he takes wide for ball 1. Murph's average down to 285 for the year. Terry Collins said he was out of gas, gave him a couple of days off, and now hoping for a rejuvenated Murphy today. There is your umpiring crew. Dave Rackley, the balls and strikes. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at first. Brian O'Nora at second, and Chad Fairchild is the umpire at third. Grounded to the right side, and Marwin Gonzalez right there to make the play on Murphy. 2 away.
And we'll take a look at the Astro defense, and that's brought to you, of course, by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And as Gary said in his first at bat, Marwin Gonzalez, only his 3rd start at second base. F mark in left field. Fernando Martinez, the former Met, gets another start.
Here's David Wright. Took an over yesterday. Hit his 200th career home run on Friday night. Still number 5 in the National League in batting, even as his batting average takes a bit of a tumble. David at .317, the lowest it's been all year. And still second in the league in on-base percentage, just a point behind Andrew McCutchen. Wright's on-base percentage at .411, McCutchen at .412, and an ugly cut at that sinker, and it's 1-1.
Well, what's more alarming to me, which I think would be a crying shame, is that Andrew McCutchen now is very close to relinquishing his lead in the batting
bloop
title.
Behind first base, and that'll drop for a base hit. Wright will stop at first base as Wallace gets to it quickly, and David has a parachute single.
Well, you'll take him any way you can get him. You have your shift. You're a good hitter, you get more line drives, and you do these right here. So you'll take it. Got jammed inside. Couldn't have placed it better.
We were talking about McCutchen and the fact that he's now fallen behind Melky Cabrera for the batting lead.
And that to me would be a crying shame. Cabrera, of course, suspended for the rest of the year. 50 games because of steroid use and steroid use that he admitted to and apologized for. But
after concocting the fake website defense.
It's cheating, and I just don't think he should be given the batting title. I think he should be, whatever he's achieved, it should be stricken. Not from the record, but he should not win a batting title.
That's the way it sits right now. Melky less than a point ahead of McCutchen, with everybody else farther behind. How about Yadier Molina, 3rd in the batting race, .328. What a year he's having.
Terrific year.
I mean, he just keeps getting better and better offensively.
And you know, there's Jim Cott told me a long time ago, you got to know who you give your long-term contracts to. Players that come to the park every day, and you know they're not going to get lazy and fat. Molina's not one of those. Awarded a big contract and really having this was a great year for himself.
And for his team, which is back in playoff position, the Cardinals, if the year ended right now, would be the 2nd wild card team after all the injuries they've had to fight through this year. They still have the best offense in the league. Scored the most runs. Ike Davis 1 for 3 in the series. Batting with right at first and 2 out, and he pulls one down to first, and Wallace right there to make the play, and that retires the side. A hit and 1 left. To the second we go with no score. Scott Moore will lead off for Houston in the second inning against Jeremy Hefner on a bright sunny Sunday afternoon. Moore is 0 for 4 in this series and 0 for his last 18, making his 38th start for the Astros since getting called up. And he takes a fastball away for ball 1. It'll be more than Tyler Green and Chris Snyder against Hefner here in the second. Jeremy making his 8th start, his 20th appearance overall, and he gets inside on Moore. It's 1-1.
Well, Tampa Bay's making it interesting over there in the East in the other league, Garrett.
Lost to Oakland yesterday, but just 3.5 behind the Yankees, and Baltimore only 4 games out.
How about that?
And the Orioles made a trade today. You know, we're just 5 days from the deadline for teams to get a player in their organization to make him eligible for postseason. August 31st is the cutoff, so you usually get a small flurry of waiver trades before that deadline. Into left field, and Duda with his first chance handles it easily to retire Moore 1 away. So the Yankees lead, which was once 10, is 3.5. The Rays and Orioles are in the wild card spots. Actually, Baltimore's tied with Oakland for the second one. And the Orioles picked up a starting pitcher today. They got Joe Saunders from Arizona, and they traded the former Met farmhand, who's now become very well traveled. Matt Lindstrom goes to Arizona.
The hard throwing Matt Lindstrom. Yankees the last 10 games have gone 4-6. And they've relinquished, 3 games in those 10 days to Tampa, and 2 games to Baltimore.
Lost to the lowly Indians last night. Cleveland snapping a 9-game losing streak behind Justin Masterson 3-1.
And Oakland's quite the story, is it not? 6 back of Texas. They're hanging in there.
Well, they've got that young pitching, and they've gotten just enough offense. The addition of Yoenis Cespedes has been enormous for Oakland. Chris Snyder on deck as Green takes just off the plate 2-1. And a late swing foul, 2-2. Now, Texas, every time it looks like they're going to slip back, they start winning again. They've won 4 straight to open up a 6-game lead on Oakland.
Well, the team with the best record in baseball is not Texas. You would have thought it would have been Texas, but it's the Washington Nationals under Davey Johnson. Strike 3 swinging.
Second strikeout for Hefner as Green is out on strikes.
Fastball right under it. You drop that back shoulder, you have a hard time with that pitch above the waist.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now the veteran catcher Chris Snyder started the opening game of the series Friday night, went 2 for 3 with an RBI double, hitting just 193 for the year.
It's like we're seeing this year more teams with winning records on the road, Gare. I don't know what that translates into, but there was a while last couple of years where there was just a sparsity of teams with winning records. There's a whole bunch today playing well on the road as well as home. Right below us.
On the other side, there's the Houston Astros, who are 13 and 52 on the road, historically bad on the road. Last time a team had a road winning percentage this low, 1945.
Well, they don't have the worst home record. They're 27 and 35 at home, and you won't believe this. The team with the worst home record in the National League would be Colorado. How about that? They're 26 and 39 at home.
Little tapper to the left side, charging his right, slow-footed catcher running, so he throws out Snyder easily, and that retires the side. Astros are on 1-2-3. Lucas Duda leads off when we come back. Rookie right-hander Lucas Harrell set to face the Mets in the bottom of the second. You know, Harrell's won 10 games this year for a team that's only won 40, so he's got 25% of his team's wins. The only pitcher in baseball this year that has a higher percentage of his team's wins is R.A. Dickey, 16 of 58 for the Mets. That's 27.6%. Lucas Duda, returning from the minor leagues today, played 25 games down in Buffalo after his demotion. The 19 games he played before he was sent down, he was 9 for 65, a 138 average with 1 home run and 2 RBIs, and that's why he finally got the demotion, as Harrell misses wide for ball 1.
And he got sent down and was a little discouraged, and we all do. It's an embarrassment. It's get a little red face when you get sent down. But you soon get over it, because what are you here for? What have you worked your whole life for? And you had a bat in your hand when your dad started throwing in front of the garage door to you. Get to the big leagues. So you just got to put that minor league uniform on, get on those buses, and work your way back.
Ruben Tejada on deck, and Duda takes at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-2. Well, Lucas was counted on when the season began to give the Mets a big power source in the middle of the lineup, and the first couple of months it looked like that's what was going to happen. But as the season progressed and the Mets started going
in the wrong direction. And Duda was not producing home runs. The Mets figured he'd be better off, and the team would be better served if he could get himself back together in Buffalo.
Well, his slump was so prolonged and extreme, he had to go down and relax.
Popped up in foul ground. Moore coming over for a look. Well, that goes out of play. And, you know, when Duda went down, he asked Terry Collins, he said, well, why am I being made the scapegoat here? He said when Ike Davis got off to a worse start, he didn't get sent down. And there were two factors. One, Ike was giving the Mets defense. And two, the Mets were winning early in the season when Ike was struggling, while they were not winning when Duda finally got sent down. And those were the two main reasons that those situations were different. But as you said, he got over it soon enough. And Ike, after the decision was made to keep him here, slowly but surely got his season turned around. Seventh pitch of the bat coming from Harold to Duda. And he gets out of the way of an inside pitch, and it's 3-2.
I always felt when I got sent down, it was not my right to question. Those are not my decisions to make. You get sent down, you get sent down. I didn't need an explanation. I know I was playing poorly.
And that's low ball 4, and so Duda's on with a leadoff walk. Well, at least Duda didn't go Alfredo Aceves on Collins. You heard about that, right?
Yes.
Aceves the other day did not get a save chance from Bobby Valentine. Went in Bobby's office, screamed, yelled, ripped his shirt off, and the Red Sox wound up suspending him for 3 days.
That is the new Bronx Zoo.
Duda on at first. Tejada coming up. Let's check in with Tiffany Simons, who's filling in for Kevin Burkhardt. Tiffany?
Well, guys, you know, you were just talking about how Duda got over being sent down to the minors, and I think part of that reason is how he chose to look at it. He was very honest this morning in saying if that choice would have been up to me, the way I was playing, I would have done the exact same thing. That's the game of baseball. You don't produce, you don't play. And he also found a lot of frustration because I think he had started to buy into what a lot of people had told him. You're a big guy, so you just got to swing. And he said it's not that way. So Buffalo allowed him to get kind of back to who he is as a player, as well as get really comfortable in left field. He said, hey, I'm excited to play wherever, left, right, first base, but the time I've spent in Buffalo has made me extremely comfortable playing out in left field.
Okay. Well, he's getting more familiar with left. He needs to get familiar with a position, that's for sure. His natural position, again, is first base.
I'm just happy Tiffany was able to find the field reporter chair.
It's a smashing blue sweater she's wearing today.
You never comment on Kevin's wardrobe.
I'm just trying to keep the chair warm for Kevin for when he comes back. Even though it's hot out here, you know, keeping it good for him to go.
Very nice. Well, it's a very special chair. Not everybody gets to use that chair.
And, you know, I've been told that at least 3 times since I've sat in it today. So I respect the chair.
When I look at a chair like that, I can't help but think of Alain Soler. Remember Alain Soler in his chair?
No.
2006. Soler pitching for the Mets. Goes to Arizona, pitches a 2-hit shutout between innings. Doesn't sit on the bench, sits on a folding chair in the dugout. And pitches a 2-hit shutout. And the Mets didn't bring the chair home with them. He never pitched well again.
Okay.
Great stories that might have been.
Major oversight.
If only for a chair. For want of a chair. Perhaps a kingdom was lost.
That's right.
2-2 to Tejada. Mike Baxter waiting on deck. By the way, did you see what Andre Ethier's done the last couple of days for the Dodgers?
He's hot. I know
10 for 10. 10 hits in his last 10 at bats. He's 2 shy of the major league record. Going into the game with the Marlins today, he'll be facing Mark Burley.
Who holds the record?
It is held by 3 men. Johnny Kling, Cubs 1902, Pinky Higgins, Red Sox 1938, Walt Dropo, Tigers 1952. 12 straight hits. Second straight full count for Harrell. Harrell is a guy who strikes out about 6.5 per 9, and the Mets will take the chance. Send Duda, hit to right field. Duda's going to have to scramble back. The throw by Francisco, and Duda gets back safely.
Oh, Terry trying a little hit and run there, and I like it. Tejada can hit and run. He just got the ball in the air. Duda almost, tell you what, Francisco just took too much time. He could have had him. He got rid of it quicker.
Some nice base running by Duda to make sure he knew where that ball was and get himself back. So 1 out and 1 on. Mike Baxter, the batter. Baxter 0 for 3 in this series. And Harrell runs that ball in on him. 0-1.
Well, good slider right there. See Baxter's numbers. It's dipped below 300.
That on base percentage still up at 400. Remember, he had that 5-walk game in San Diego.
Good pitch. Slider in, sinker away.
Kelly Shoppach catching and hitting 8th today. Down to first. Wallace gets the lead man. The return by Green, not in time. Baxter beat it out. Nicely handled, though, by Wallace and Green as they get the 3-6 force play.
Well, here's the difference when you have a left-hander as opposed to a right-handed first baseman. He's got to do the pivot. See the extra motion. And that little extra split second is all it takes. If you're a left-hander, you're in a position with that left hand to make the quicker throw. And there's your difference. That's a boom-boom play right there. Bang-bang play, whatever you want to call it.
Boom-boom works. Worked better for hockey. Boom boom Jeffrey on.
It's morning. No, it's afternoon.
Here's Kelly Shoppach, and he takes ball 1.
I want you to note that I had a wonderful sleep last night.
Did you really?
I didn't wake up at 3:30 in the morning. See what a wind does?
And did you have the large coffee this morning?
I had a large coffee.
There you go.
So I'm refreshed.
You sound refreshed. There goes Duda. The pitch is high. Snyder's throwing a hop, not in time. Excuse me, Baxter with his 4th stolen base of the year.
Well, Baxter can run. We beat out the double play ball. And a good pitch to throw for Snyder, and not a good throw. It wouldn't have mattered. A good throw would have had him.
Mechanics on that throw were kind of odd.
Looks like he took the slows there. Like the Mercedes-Benz extra slow motion.
So a runner in scoring position for Shoppach. A 2-0 count with the pitcher on deck. See if he gets anything to hit. Apparently not. 3-0 to Shoppach, and we'll see if they give him intentional ball 4. Shoppach playing his 6th game with the Mets. 3 for 15 with a home run, and they will give him an intentional wide one and put him aboard. It'll be scored an intentional walk.
I just never agree with this. Early in the game in particular.
Even on 3-0?
Yeah, go after him. It's the 8th hitter. I'm not putting down Shoppach. It's early in the game. He gets a base hit. It's 1-0. You want to get him out? You got the pitcher leading off next inning.
And of course, this particular pitcher has a home run to his credit this year.
Yes, he does.
After hit one off Joe Blanton back in May. His only big league hit to date. Bats here with 2 out and 2 on in a scoreless game in the 2nd. And tops one back to Harrell. And that retires the side. Mets strand a pair. We go to the 3rd. Mets and Astros, no score. truth in engineering. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to take advantage of new low pricing and see every remaining Mets out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Mets.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Mets' upcoming schedule brought to you by Chrysler and the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. Mets take the day off tomorrow, head down to Philly where they start a 9-game road trip on Tuesday night. Chris Young opens the trip against Vance Worley Tuesday. That trip will take them to Philly, Miami, and St. Louis before the Mets get home weekend after next to play the Braves here at Citi Field.
We're that close to the month of September and Labor Day, huh? Summer's almost over. It's flown this year, hasn't it? How do you feel? I think it's gone by fast. Gare, how do you
know, time goes faster and faster as you get older.
So I've heard.
Here's Fernando Martinez leading off the third. I'm thinking there might be a correlation between your perception of the speed of the season and the increasing gray in your mustache.
No.
Martinez hits it out to left center, and on comes Torres.
You're thinking,
and that's the first out.
You're too much. You're too deep. You're deep thinking. You're deep thinking.
You think I should keep it more on the surface and not try and make these correlations?
This season has gone by, I think, real fast. I can't believe we're almost out of the month of August.
34 games to go after today.
Is that what it is? Which I missed 6 of them, so I have the great bulk of them. So it's winding down.
We have you and Ronnie both going to Philadelphia and Miami.
Yeah, first time in Miami together with a new stadium. They could accommodate 3 in the booth.
Be very nice. Lucas Harrell, right-hand pitcher, but left-hand batter, takes outside. Harrell's got 9 hits this year. Hefner's allowed just 1 hit to date, a single for Brett Wallace back in the first. And a call strike to Harrell, 1-1.
The old stadium, folks, what was it? All those different names. But Landshark Stadium, Dolphin Stadium, you name it.
Joe Robbie.
You couldn't have fit Ronnie, Gary, and I in there if you tried.
We actually did once, if you'll recall.
Yeah,
we did opening day.
It was a sardine box.
It was very tight. I think it was one of the games where Ronnie had to stand. Harrell pops it up, and right with the glasses on, makes the grab. 2 out. So Hefner making quick work of the first 2 hitters here in the third. You know, sometimes when we have a guest in our booth here, Ronnie will get the tall chair and have to sit in the back. And I think we had the same situation down in Miami.
Going down this time? No. Oh, down there when we did it. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, you know, he's got to defer to the elderly.
You're saying because we're older than he is, he might be a little more spry? Brandon Barnes, first pitch swinging, flies one out to center. Another chance for Torres looking through the sunglasses, and that retires the side. 7-pitch inning for Hefner. No score in the third. A gorgeous Sunday afternoon. What a great idea that was. Putting that big park right in the middle of the city.
Didn't someone donate a lot of that land? Some baron? I won't say Robert Barron. I thought it was just some mega wealthy that. I'm not sure. I don't know my history there. Maybe have Dave mind that.
Well, Frederick Law Olmsted designed the park, but I don't think it was his land.
No.
Andres Torres leading off the home third. Took a call third strike his first time up. Mets facing Lucas Harrell. Just the 9th time this year the Mets have faced a rookie starting pitcher. Mets are 3-5 in the previous 8 instances. Although the only 2 rookie starters to get a win against the Mets, Randall Delgado for the Braves back in April, and Nathan Eovaldi for the Marlins earlier this month here. 2-2 now to Torres. Harrell throws a little harder than I thought.
Yes, they say he can rush up there with his little two-seamer.
Daniel Murphy on deck, then David Wright.
Got a
and
good
he
slider.
gets that breaking ball in on Torres to strike him out for the second time.
He locates his slider really well to lefties. A lot of right-handers make mistakes. That's a flat one. That's like a runner. A little
More
cutter.
like a cutter than a slider.
Yeah, it's a good pitch. I'm impressed.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Daniel Murphy, who grounded out to second base his first trip, and he gets one off the fists, a foul ball.
Another cutter. He feels confident with that pitch. If you can locate that against left-handers, that's such a weapon. That was like that old Montreal pitching staff when Gary Carter was catching those really good Montreal pitching staffs. Those right-handers, Charlie Lee, Sanderson. I can't think of the other guys. That's Steve Rogers. Gullickson also, yes. Steve Rogers. And the guy that hurt his arm was such a great pitcher. He would have been a terrific pitcher. Went to the Braves. They all had that cutter on your hands, and they just aggressively pounded you in with it, much like Harrell's doing. And it is something that gets your attention.
And he works quickly as Murphy grounds one down to first, and Wallace makes the play to Harrell. And quickly there are 2 out. Well, Harrell's allowed just 1 hit so far, and that was a fortunate hit for David Wright, who blooped one to right field in the first inning. And Wright will get his second turn at bat now against Harrell with 2 out and nobody on. David now with 145 hits for the season.
76 RBI. He needs 24 for 100. And we're running out of ball games here.
Well, he's had just 1 RBI in his last 12 games. Most hits David had in a season was 196. He did that back in 2007 when he hit 325, a career high. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike from Harrell.
So the young man has a cutter as well as a curve. Very impressed.
Well, it's a kid that the White Sox gave up on just about a year ago, but has really found himself since donning an Astros uniform. David hits one softly out for the shortstop. Green throws him out. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Lucas Harrell. That sends us on to the 4th with no score. Field on a Sunday afternoon. Mets and Astros go to the 4th inning with no score. Jeremy Hefner heads back to the mound. Kelly Shoppach catching him for the 2nd straight start. For more on Kelly, let's go to Tiffany.
Guys, it's always interesting when you hear a guy who has come to a new team in the middle of the season, his first impression of the clubhouse. And Kelly told me instantly he felt the chemistry between these groups of guys. He said immediately on the first day he heard of the stories that they all shared in the minor leagues and that they've all been friends for such a long time. And he said that translates out onto the field, and you know that these guys are genuinely pulling for each other. And he said when you come to a team like that, especially a young group, it has done wonders for him. I also asked him what did he hear about Terry Collins before he arrived, and he said not much, except he was a hard-nosed, passionate manager, and that fits his style, Kelly's style, perfectly. He said, I love what Terry is trying to do here and what he's committed to making this team.
Well, it's certainly quite a contrast what the Mets have here with largely homegrown players compared to where Kelly just came from in Boston, where a team that had a lot of big contracts and clearly has been somewhat dysfunctional, and now cleaning house just in the last few days. And Kelly's made no secret of the fact that he didn't especially get along with the skipper there, although he said that he was very happy in terms of his teammates in Boston. Good off-speed pitch by Hefner, and it's 0-2 to Brett Wallace.
Changeup. Good spot. With sink.
Wallace has the only hit against Hefner today, a single to right in the first. And he takes strike 3 called. Now looking at a fastball. 3rd strikeout for Hefner, who's now retired 9 in a row. So these 2 rookie right-handers having themselves a fine time so far. Harrell and Hefner matching zeros, 2 out and nobody on, and Ben Francisco comes up. Francisco flied to center his first time. Scott Moore would be next. Hefner working quickly, and Francisco fouls back the fastball. 1-2.
Well, Francisco again, a long swing, and that's what prevents him from, I guess in today's jargon, squaring up, getting the barrel of the bat up there to, we used to call it, get the head out. I guess scoring up's a much better term. Can't confuse it anyway.
Well, they always said the reason that hitting's the hardest act in sports is because you have to take a round bat and a round ball,
cylindrical bat, and
hit it square.
Spherical ball. Let's be precise.
Too precise. Way beyond my ken. Tejada throws out Francisco. 10 in a row retired by Jeremy Hefner. Still no score at Citi Field. Lawless in theaters everywhere Wednesday. Lawless.
Remember the TV show, was it Lawman? That old Western TV series?
I remember The Rifleman.
Oh, that's a lot. Wanted Dead or Alive, Maverick, Sugarfoot.
Ike Davis fouls one back. I'm sorry, Sugarfoot?
Yeah, there was a one named Sugarfoot. I forget who the actor was in Sugarfoot. It was one of my favorites. Cheyenne. Cheyenne was James Garner. Wanted Dead or Alive was Steve McQueen.
I'm still stuck on Sugarfoot.
Davis hits one deep to right field. Back for a look, Francisco, but that's long gone, way up in the Pepsi porch. Number 23 for Ike Davis breaks the ice. It's 1-0 New York.
Well, we know when Ike catches up to one, he can hit it a long way. Cutter, and he got it down and in. He just stayed back, and that's way out.
Only the 6th home run Ike has hit in this ballpark this year. It's 16 on the road, more than anybody else in the league, but he crushed this.
69th RBI, 23rd home run, and see him stay back. That's what he needs to do. No lunging.
Duda hits one to center field. This one's playable for Barnes, and he puts it away for the first out. Well, the Mets were hoping when the season began that Davis and Duda would give them the power supply. Maybe too much to ask for 30 from each, but maybe 25 from each. And looks like Davis is going to hold up his end, and the Mets are hoping that maybe down the road Duda can do the same, if not this year.
I'll take 20 from both of them if they just hit more.
Well, you have to be encouraged with what you've seen from Ike overall the last 2 months after those 2.5 dreadful months to start the year. I mean, he was hitting $160 in the middle of June.
Will Hutchins was the star of Sugarfoot. And I won't tell you who I just got texted by, because our old buddy over at the New York Times.
I am told, and I have no way of knowing this for sure because I've never even heard of this series, but I'm told that guest starring in some of those episodes of Sugarfoot, Dennis Hopper.
It was all TV back in those days, was a launching point for a lot of great acting careers. How about Twilight Zone? They had a ton of great actors that were young coming up.
And you know who was also in Sugarfoot as a kid?
Who?
Kurt Russell.
I believe it.
Tejada flied out his first time up, and he takes strike 3 called on the outside corner. Strikeout number 3 for Lucas Harrell, 2 out of the inning. But when you mention Sugarfoot, I'm thinking Western, I'm thinking Texas, and I get back to Roger Clemens, who pitched for the Sugarland Skeeters last night.
Evidently pitched well.
Went 3 1/3. Allowed only didn't allow a run.
I was actually listening to Ed Randall's radio show coming in this morning on the drive, and Gary Gaetti evidently is the manager of that Sugarland Skeeters, and he was on Ed's show talking about Rogers' performance. Ed also had a very interesting guest. It was an interesting topic, and we'll get to it after, but it's about sports injuries. He had a doctor from Mount Sinai on, as well as our old pitching coach Rick Peterson. It was a very interesting segment.
Baxter grounds out to end the inning, but Ike Davis responsible for the first run of the game, brought to you by Chevy. On the web at ChevyOffers.com. Number 23 into uninhabited territory for Ike Davis, giving Jeremy Hefner and the Mets a 1-0 lead.
vehicles with the best values in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealers today. Jeremy Hefner now has a 1-0 lead. He's allowed just one base runner through the first 4 innings. A first inning single by Brett Wallace. He's retired 10 straight since then. Scott Moore will lead off the 5th inning for Houston. Moore flied out to left his first time up. Hefner's thrown just 41 pitches in 4 innings and a first pitch swing and a nice stop by Murphy. Gets up and throws him out.
That's as good a play as Daniel Murphy's made all year. Just outstanding to get Moore.
And remember, earlier in the year, Daniel was very uncertain and wary of his backhand. He worked hard. That's a beautiful play right there. Doesn't get any better. Guys like Felix Millan make those plays. Beautiful.
And Dan's got a good arm for a second baseman and needed it there to nip Moore at first base. So one pitch, one tough out, and now Tada Green, who struck out his first time up. Jeremy Hefner from Perkins, Oklahoma. Only the second major league player ever from Perkins, Oklahoma. The first one was a pitcher for the Giants back in the early part of the 20th century. Not the earliest part, but an early part of the 20th century. Jesse Barnes. In 1919, Jesse Barnes went 25-9 for the Giants, but that was not his greatest accomplishment, because what Jesse Barnes did on the last day of the 1919 season will live forever. Breaking ball down to third, a foul ball. On the last day of the regular season, the Giants played the Phillies. September the 28th, 1919, and Jesse Barnes started for the Giants that day. The Giants beat the Phillies 6-1. The big story, they played the game in 51 minutes.
How sweet.
51 minutes. A major league record that will never be broken. You want to talk about Johnny Vandermeer's record, Joe DiMaggio's record? That record will never be broken.
Never happen. It reminds me of shades of the lefty for San Diego that came over, Randy
Jones.
Randy Jones. Every time you run out there, the 7 o'clock starts. Randy Jones was pitching, and it was a Cy Young one year, I believe, when he was winning 20 in the late 70s, mid 70s for San Diego. He was over an hour 10, hour 15.
Tejada with the overhand throw gets Green at first base. Well, today Jeremy Hefner is channeling the Perkins, Oklahoma native Jesse Barnes. He's working at a very rapid clip, but it would be impossible to have a game of only 51 minutes now, because if you just take the between innings breaks that are necessitated by the likes of us, you know, the TV folk, it's 1 minute and 40 seconds at least between innings.
Right.
Multiply that by 17 inning breaks. That's 28 minutes right there.
Of course.
So you'd have to play 23 minutes of baseball to get 54 outs. You couldn't do that.
Precisely. I'll tell you another story. When I did the Seinfeld episode, after about an hour episode, they wrote it for a half hour and an hour. And it was going to be, they were added another scene, which was George going for unemployment in that episode. And if I was bad, they were going to make it a half-hour show. If I was acceptable, they were going to use it for the hour and use it on sweeps. It was only one scene. It was only like another 4 minutes of showtime because of all the commercials in between. You'd be surprised how much running time, how little running time in an hour show there is on a TV broadcast.
It was about 20 minutes, 22 minutes,
something like that. And they got a woman there that's got on the set every day that had a stopwatch, and every time we filmed, and we're filming for, if it was good, we're going to use it. If someone went over 2 seconds, had to do it over again. You had to speed it up, or it was too quick. You had to lengthen it. Had to be, and every scene had to end precisely on ball 4 right there.
First walk given up by Hefner after retiring 12 in a row.
Fans are more interested in this than the walk here.
Go ahead.
But anyway, it had every scene for a commercial break So everything had to add up to a commercial break. It had to end precisely on that second.
So what you're saying is you couldn't hold the kiss with Elaine any longer because it would have gone overtime.
No, I was forced to blow the scene and do run 8 takes. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
I'm assuming you still get residuals, right?
I do, but they're diminishing quick. But I'll take them. It buys me dinner.
Fernando Martinez flied out his first time up, and after finds the inside corner 0-2. Swing and a miss. Shopik trots it down. He'll have to slap a tag on Martinez.
Jeez.
And that's enough to end the inning.
You think you should run or what? What do you think?
4th strikeout for Hefner. Hey Keith, can you help me move next week? We've had a lot of discussions about the future lately, and certainly one of the players who figures in the Mets' future is R.A. Dickey, who's having a phenomenal season, hoping to win 20, maybe win a Cy Young. He's signed for next year. He's got a very reasonable contract, but Dickey was asked today about the possibility of signing with the Mets long term.
Comfortable here, and that says a lot, you know, for me at where I am in my career. I do want to win too, because I am at the place I am in my career, and I want to be part of that solution here, whatever that's going to be. I would like to know what direction that we're going. You know, I think that's fair, and you know, make the decisions accordingly. But I'm open to talking about whatever they'd like.
Kelly Shopik leads off in the home 5th inning. It's interesting, today there was a large group of season ticket holders who were treated to a forum that included Sandy Alderson and Terry Collins, and a lot of that discussion was about the future. And at one point Sandy said to the group, I expect R.A. Dickey and David Wright to be here for a long time to come, which I think is pretty definitive as to the Mets' intentions. But of course the players got to be willing as well. Both Wright and Dickey will be a year away from free agency when this year ends.
You know, R.A., it's all a matter of timing, and he's certainly late in his career, 38 years of age. You know, if he'd been playing in the 80s, he wouldn't have had this windfall of salary to what it is today. He's maxed out with his movie. He's really done really well for himself, as well as on the field. but I'm talking strictly salary. The time clock would be ticking for him as far as an opportunity for him to make a lot of money. But with the money the way it is today, he's really done for in such a short period and so late in his career. A high fastball chased by Shopik for strike 3. I mean, he has done really, really well for himself. And deservingly so. He's had a terrific year.
Well, he finally got some security with a 2-year deal with the Mets. But even at that, Dickey is certainly not making the big bucks. It's obviously big in the real world, but it's not as far as, you know, what the top salaried baseball players make. I mean, next year he's got a $5 million contract, which, you know,
I'll take it.
Again, in the real world is a tremendous amount of money. But if he goes on the free agent market, or if the Mets intend to sign him long term, clearly it's going to cost them more than that, even at age 38 going forward, because, you know, as a knuckleballer, your shelf life is going to be a lot longer than it would be as a conventional pitcher.
You can always figure out, and this is what I did my whole career, is what I needed to live on and live comfortably, and just sock the rest away. I mean, a lot of guys, athletes today, they're broke. They took all that money, didn't save, and, you know, you can't play forever. And certainly in Dickey's case, at 38 years of age, you know, he's very cognizant that he's getting close, even though he's a knuckleballer. And of course, Hoyt Wilhelm and Charlie Huff, they all pitched into their 40s, Phil Niekro. But if $5 million a year, I'll take it, Garrett.
You know, guys, just to add on that quickly, one thing that he did say is he wants to know the direction this team is taking. He feels very loyal to the club that gave him a chance, but he believes it's fair to know what David is going to do, and that's going to actually weigh on his decision. And he said, I believe that David is of the same mindset when it comes to that way of thinking. He said, I want to avoid any discussion next season of contract talk. It's something that he is open and willing to get a healthy dialogue going once this season is over.
Well, Tiff, you know, in a perfect world, you know, unless he and David are in conversation, which I doubt what they're going to do as far as their option years are concerned. You know, in a perfect world, yes, but comes a time when you're going to have to make certain decisions, and you may not have all the information you need in front of you.
Both pitcher and catcher were leaving the field. Harrell and Snyder both thought they had Torres struck out, but Dave Rackley, the home plate umpire, didn't agree.
Well, another fastball in, and boy, the catcher didn't even move the glove. Let's see. Oh boy, you got to ring him up there.
And this one is a call third strike, so Torres never gets the bat off his shoulder, even forewarned. 5 strikeouts for Harrell. After 5, 1-0 New York. Championship Series, rightfully so, gets all the attention. But if you don't win Game 5 on Gary Carter's walk-off hit in the 12th inning against Charlie Kerfeld, Game 6 might have been a moot point.
That was that the game with was that Ryan that pitched?
Ryan against Gooden.
And it was a 1-1 ball game. Darryl hit the home run down the right field line, the humpback line drive that just barely cleared the fence.
Ryan went the first 9. Gooden went the first 10. And
notice Ryan
got the game-winning hit.
Ryan didn't have it. Had 1 walk and 12 strikeouts. That meant he was on his game. He threw hard that day. Had his curveball. He struck me out one. I chased a high one time. Son of a gun. But Carter was in a slump, I might recall, right? He had a serious offer going in the playoff, and he came through in the clutch. They walked me intentionally to get to Gary. How about that? That'll teach him.
Never do that again. Lucas Harrell out on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Jeremy Hefner, who so far is having his greatest day in the major leagues. He's allowed just 1 hit over 5 1/3, has himself a 1-0 lead. And now he'll start the 3rd time through the Astros batting order. Brandon Barnes has been up twice and flied out both times. There have been only 3 hits in this game. The only one that's mattered, Ike Davis's mammoth home run in the 4th inning to give Hefner the lead. Reminiscent of the game that John Neese pitched against Washington last weekend, when Davis hit the home run and Neese pitched 7 scoreless innings, and that's all the Mets needed. And Hefner hoping to hold the Astros down and achieve the same kind of result. 2 balls and a strike to Barnes.
Mets trying to win their 2nd series in the 2nd half of the season.
The only series they've won since the All-Star break was that one in San Francisco.
Believe that.
They took 3 of 4 from the first place Giants.
And the only split they had was that same road trip that was in prior in Arizona.
By the way, speaking of the Giants, you know, they lost to the Braves last night. Jason Hayward hit a 3-run homer in that game, and it was significant. As Barnes hits one well to center, chasing Torres back to the warning track to run it down. Andres got a nice break on that ball going back and made it look easy for the 2nd out.
Well, Torres can cover some ground. He can fly, and that's routine for him. It's just all about getting there. Once you get there, it just becomes a Del Monte corn.
No sunglasses required. So 2 out and nobody on. Now Marwin Gonzalez. I was going to say Hayward's home run significant because he hit it off Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner had not allowed a home run to a left-hand hitter in 2 years. And Hayward took him deep for a 3-run bomb.
And Hayward, since being inserted in that 3 spot in the order, has really turned it on. He hit 3rd the last time the Braves were here.
And had a terrific series against the Mets. Gonzalez 0 for 2 is struck out and grounded out. And he pulls one over the bag. That's a fair ball going down the line off the jutting stands. Gonzalez will go to 2nd. And the Astros have their 2nd hit of the day, a 2-out double for Marwin Gonzalez.
I'll tell you what, pretty good pitch right here. You've got to tip your hat to the hitters. The cutter in a good location, and he just got the barrel out. Sometimes, you know, they're getting paid to make a living too.
So the tying run in scoring position with 2 out. And now the number 3 hitter Brett Wallace, who had the other hit for the Astros, a 1st inning single. Called 3rd strike in the 4th, so he's 1 for 2. And Wallace pulling off the changeup, 0-1. Well, those are the last 6 series that the Mets have played at home, and the results have been rather ugly. The Mets have lost 16 of their last 19 home games.
3 sweeps, not good. And 1 is 4th spot.
And he jams Wallace and gets ahead 0-2.
Nice little cutter again in on the left-handers.
And Francisco on deck. Hefner adeptly working both sides of the plate, throwing strikes. Kept his pitch count down. He's walked only 1. He's struck out 5, and now working with a runner in scoring position behind him for the first time today. He's ahead on Brett Wallace, 0-2.
Telling you what, that Philadelphia Phillies, they're going to be the spoiler in September. I know it's the 3rd night in a row I've said it.
Swing and a foul tip held by Shopik, strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Jeremy Hefner. He's working on a 2-hitter through 6. Mets will try and get him some more support when we come back. Evil Retribution in theaters September 14th, rated R. Sounds like Keith and his cat.
Oh.
Daniel Murphy leads off the home 6th and swings and misses. Murph's been up twice, grounded out to the right side both times. Wright and Davis to follow in the bottom of the 6th against Lucas Harrell. He works him outside, a ball and a strike.
Harrell's got a very effortless motion. He's got big legs, strong lower body. Nice motion. Everything in sync. It's a guy that can go 9 innings. But that's unheard of today. But he's not laboring at all. He's in a nice groove. Very simple motion.
And Murphy out on strikes. Boy, a couple of days off. Has not appeared to cure what ailed Daniel Murphy. 6 strikeouts for Harrell.
That is just a sweeping swing right there. No rotation of the hips. Watch his hips. No rotation.
He's trying to foul the ball off as much as anything and couldn't do that. So 1 out and nobody on. And now David Wright, who has one of the 2 hits for the Mets today. A bloop single to right in the 1st. And he grounded out in the 3rd, 1 for 2. And David takes a fastball for a strike. 27-year-old Lucas Harrell from Ozark, Missouri.
That's the old Lake Ozarks. Ozark Lakes up in Missouri. That was always like the Hamptons of Missouri in St. Louis folks. I never got to go because I was playing baseball. But that was the weekend haunt for everybody in St. Louis, to go take a drive a couple hours into the Lake of the Ozarks.
So it went like, Keith, would you like to come with us to Ozark for the weekend? And you said, I'm sorry, I can't. I have a game.
I'm part of the summer fun. So I'm part of the summer entertainment. Sorry, pal.
Well, now that you have, an occasional weekend off, maybe it would be a nice time to go visit Lake Ozark.
But I'm out.
See what you missed.
I'm out. I live out where everybody's having fun on weekends.
I see.
I don't have to.
Sidearm delivery by Harrell. He gets the slow ground ball. Gonzalez with the quick toss gets right to the 2nd out. Harrell dropping down that time on David.
Interesting. He's got a little bit of everything. I like this kid.
So you're saying if you live in the Hamptons, you don't have to go other places for summer fun?
I am literally, we did go Laredo on David and completely fooled him. And here's Ike Davis, who is the difference in this ball game right now. Ike is last at bat in the fourth. Hit a bomb into the upper deck in right field for his 23rd.
23 home runs, just his 6th in his home ballpark. Only the 11th that Harrell has given up in 26 starts this year. He's a ground ball pitcher, and he's shown that today. But Davis made him pay in the 4th inning leading off.
Oh, here it is. This is a decent pitch, too. Cutter down and in. And see how he stayed straight up? He didn't lunge, let his hands do the work. That's why he hit the dog out of that. That was a way up.
By the way, that's not cat and dog references in the same inning.
That's baseball terminology again. Came out.
1-2 to Davis.
Every now and again, the club, the old dugout talk comes out in there.
I'm glad only some of it does. We mentioned this earlier that Harrell is 2nd in the league in percentage of his team wins. The gold standard, by the way, of percentage of team wins was Steve Carlton in 1972 when he won 46% of the games the Phillies won, 27 of 59. Harrell strikes out Davis. That's 7 for him. He's retired 9 in a row since Ike's home run. 1-0 Mets. Is the Pix 11 news. Join Suki, Francis, and Linda for the latest news, weather, and traffic. Make your mornings count with the Pix 11 morning news. Jeremy Hefner, who has not gone more than 6 innings in a major league game, is going to do it here. Frank Francisco leads off the 7th. Excuse me, Ben Francisco leads off the 7th for the Astros. Francisco's fly down grounded out.
I've called Frank Ben a couple times early in April.
Well, it's getting late.
I haven't done it since April, trust me.
Scott Moore is on deck, then Tyler Green for Houston in the 7th. And Francisco takes a strike, 2-1. Hefner has been ahead in the count most of the day. 14 of 22 batters he's thrown first pitch strikes to. And there's a strike on the outside. And Jeremy gets even 2-2 after pitching for the first time since the birth of his 2nd child on Wednesday night, and he is pitching as though he's trying to give her a gift. Up and away in a full count to Francisco.
I just got my 1986 and 1969 Met Stratomatic cards here.
Popped up on the infield. Who's going to play it? Tejada makes the call. And the catch to retire Francisco. So you've got the Stratomatic cards for the 2 Mets World Series championship teams.
I'm going to play him. I'm going to play him a couple of World Series. Seaver against Gooden. It'll be always Kuzman against probably Ojeda. Gentry against Darling.
Maybe we should do that publicly.
I think it would be great fun, to be honest with you.
Now, who do you think has the upper hand?
It's all in the roll of the dice, but
well,
we have better offense, obviously.
Moore drives one to right, and Baxter comes over to snag it. 2 out.
I mean, 86 has a much better offense, but boy, oh boy, that pitching staff of the 69, as well as ours, it should be interesting.
Should be some low-scoring games, one would suspect.
Well, the problem with that is going to be that with the power of 86, one roll of the dice could be a home run where you're not going to have that. For the Mets are going to 69 Mets are going to Clendenin could, yes, but they're going to have to bunch their hits off a pretty good pitching staff. So it'd be kind of curious to see how that plays out.
Here's Tyler Green, and he pulls one foul. Well, here's the question, though. When you have Stratomatic cards from those years, they reflect the full season, not the way the teams played in the postseason. Correct. So, in other words, Al Weiss, who hits a big home run in the World Series, his card is not going to be power-laden. So he's unlikely to duplicate that in Stratomatic, right?
The odds are. How many home runs did he hit that year, Weiss? Not very many.
1, maybe 2.
So that was off the pitcher's card. Folks that know what that means, you roll the 4, 5, or 6.
If you're going to have to explain, if we ever do this publicly, you're going to have to explain how Stratomatic works.
Also, too, it doesn't reflect the season by months, which would be interesting with the Mets, how they finish, how their pitching finished.
Right. So
strong the last, 6 weeks of the season.
Right. Just off the corner to Green, and it's 2-2. Tyler Green has struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. Hefner's allowed just 3 base runners all day. And Green is out swinging, and the inning is over. 7 strikeouts for Jeremy Hefner, matching his career high. He goes 7 for the first time, and he looks like he has a whole lot left in the tank. 1-0 Mets. I'm loving it. The aerial view. Citi Field, right across from the National Tennis Center, where action starts tomorrow. And it's the youngest Met fan. He's all decked out.
He's ready.
He's got years of rooting ahead of him.
Oh, he has no idea what he's in for.
The highest of highs. Well, the Mets continue to get great starting pitching every day. Today it's been Jeremy Hefner, and he had help behind him. Play of the game brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building.
Well, it doesn't get any better than this. Close your eyes, open them real quick, and you think it was Felix Mian out there. What a play.
Murphy not hitting much right now, but helping out with the glove and helping Hefner through 7 scoreless innings. A pitcher's duel between a couple of rookie right-handers, Jeremy Hefner and Lucas Harrell, who's been on the short end so far, but he has certainly pitched well despite giving up a bomb of a home run to Ike Davis. Harrell has walked 2, one of those intentional, struck out 7, and he's retired 9 in a row since the Davis home run in the 4th. Lucas Duda back from the minor leagues today, walked leading off the 2nd, flied out in the 4th. He's 0 for 1. First big league game for Lucas since the 22nd of July. 27-year-old Lucas Harrell, and his pitch count relatively low, just 83 starting the 7th inning. Probably his last go around. He's due a turn at bat in the top of the 8th. Duda, Tejada, and Baxter for the Mets in the home 7th. And Lucas first pitch swinging, fouls off the fastball, 0-1. Duda played 25 games down in Buffalo, hit .260, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. Little looper into center field, and Barnes is right there to retire Duda, 1 away. So 10 in a row set down now by Lucas Harrell. Now Ruben Tejada, who's 0 for 2. Tejada has flied out and taken a call, 3rd strike. Ruben just 4 for his last 32. And you see his batting average is down at an even 300. It's been up above 300 for a long time now. And after giving Daniel Murphy a couple of days off the last 2 days, Terry Collins said today he is very much thinking about giving Tejada some time off. Remember, Tejada missed 7 weeks with a groin injury, but since coming back, he's been playing virtually every day. Mike Baxter, the on-deck batter. Each team with only 2 hits today. Mets finally snapped that streak of 7 straight games scoring 2 runs or less yesterday, but heck, they scored only 3. So that's 8 straight games with 3 runs or less, which is not a whole lot of offense to support the starting pitching that's been tremendous lately. Grounded down to 3rd. Nice play on the backhand by Moore, and enough time to set and throw to get Tejada. So Moore playing in had to be quick to make that play for the 2nd out.
Nice backhand. And knows he has time to plant and throw.
So that's 11 in a row for Harrell. 2 out and nobody on. Mike Baxter coming up. So Tejada running out that ground ball. Terry was a little annoyed at Tejada the other day. Felt as though he didn't run hard on a couple of ground balls and said, look, I know you're tired, but you know, especially when things are going poorly, you've got to run hard on every grounder.
You've got to run on and off the field to your position. And when you make it out, you can't walk back in the dugout. It looks bad.
Slow ground ball for Gonzalez, and another easy inning for Lucas Harrell. He's retired 12 in a row, but Jeremy Hefner's been that much better. Mets lead this pitcher's duel 1-0 after 7. summer clearance event. Adam Wainwright shutting out the Reds into the 6th inning. Eric Bedard on the mound for the Pirates, who got a shutout performance yesterday from Jeff Karstens. Cliff Lee and Jordan Zimmerman matching zeros in Philadelphia, where the Phillies have taken the first 2 of that series. Rockies and Cubs just getting started. Marlins and Dodgers later, with Andre Ethier working on 10 straight hits against Mark Burley. The night game tonight, Hudson and Lincecum, as the Braves and Giants play the rubber game of the final game of that series. The Padres have won 6 in a row, putting a crimp in the Diamondbacks' hopes. They're now 7 games back in the West. Jeremy Hefner back to the mound for the 8th inning, working on a 2-hit shutout. He's got the bottom third of the order to contend with. Chris Snyder leads off and takes off the plate for ball 1. Snyder, one of 3 Astros to reach base today. He drew a 2-out walk in the 5th. After he's given up 2 hits, that 1 walk, and that's it. Wilton Lopez starting to loosen up in the Houston bullpen. He's been working as their closer when they've had those rare chances lately. Fernando Martinez on deck, then the pitcher spot for Hefner, who has already matched a career high today with 7 strikeouts. And the curveball, a rare one today, in for a strike to Snyder. Robert Carson on call in case Hefner needs help here in the 8th. His pitch count still very low. 88 pitches working in the 8th inning. Have to be careful with Snyder. Big guy with a lot of power.
7 home runs on the year. Only a 191 average, but dangerous.
There's Fernando Martinez waiting on deck, hitting 8th today. Hefner's 1-2, and the curveball misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Snyder. And Snyder stays alive. Again, the 2-2, and a little tapper back to Hefner. Easily takes care of Snyder, and that's the first out of the 8th. Here's your chance to win a fantastic at 50 Mets jersey. Just text Dykstra to 48593 to enter. Message and data rates may apply. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Fernando Martinez up for the 3rd time. Martinez is flying to center and struck out 0 for 2. And Fernando pulls one past a diving Davis and into right field. And the Astros have their 3rd hit of the day. Fernando, who had the first hit against Dickey in yesterday's game, has a 1-out single in the 8th against Hefner.
Well, just a little change up, meant to get away. Too much plate. Just out of the reach of Davis.
So the tying run is on with 1 out, and now Brian Bogusevic will bat for Lucas Harrell. So Harrell, who pitched a gem of his own, 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. His only chance to win is if the Astros get him a couple here in the 8th. The Astros have to be really thrilled about what they have in Lucas Harrell, a late blooming rookie.
Wow.
Who has turned in a terrific year for them.
Really a fine performance.
It's a winning line most games, but not so far today. Not the way Hefner's been pitching. Bogusevic is 1 for 4 in this series. And he fouls back the fastball. A ball and a strike. Jeremy Hefner looking for his 3rd big league win in just his 8th start. Ryan Barnes, the leadoff hitter, waiting on deck. Hefner going deeper into a game than he ever has in the major leagues. Trying to navigate uncharted territory. And Bogusevic takes just below the knees. 2 balls and a strike.
Boy, that could have gone either way. That one was close.
Tops one down to first. Davis double clutches, gets the out at second. The relay with Hefner covering. They got him. Despite the small hesitation by Davis, the Mets nonetheless turn the 3-6-1 double play. And Hefner's got himself a 3-hit shutout through 8. Took him an extra beat, but they turn it anyway.
Jeremy Hefner has his helmet on and a bat in his hands. That means he's going to get a chance for his first major league complete game and shutout. He's only had 2 complete games in the minor leagues, never a shutout in his professional career. Mets, meanwhile, will try and get him some insurance against the Astros closer Wilton Lopez in the bottom of the 8th.
This is Lopez's 2nd appearance. He came in that 3-1 Astro victory, the opener of the series. Got his 2nd save of the year and ending in a 3rd of work. Sinker ball pitcher.
Kelly Shoppach will lead off in the bottom of the 8th. Shoppach has been intentionally walked and struck out. Lucas Harrell, 90 pitches over 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional, 7 strikeouts, the 1 home run to Ike Davis, and right now that might be enough to beat him. Shoppach swinging and missing at the fastball, 0-1. In the 9th inning, the Astros will have the top of the batting order coming up. Barnes, Gonzalez, and Wallace, with Hefner looking like he's going to get a chance to go 9. I think we've learned about Kelly Shoppach in his brief time as a Met. He swings hard. He lines that one into left center for a base hit. He swings and misses a lot. He's got occasional power. And now he's got himself a leadoff hit to try and help the cause.
Well, sinker baller, whenever he's upstairs like that, you can see it sprays a string.
Nice hand for Jeremy Hefner as he comes up with a chance to help his cause with a bunt. Jeremy has 3 sacrifices so far this year to go with 1 hit. And he gets a beautiful bunt down. Lopez has to go to first with it.
Very nice.
1-4 on the sacrifice, moving Shopik down to second. And now Hefner can go rest up for the 9th inning.
Picture perfect. First baseman has to hold the runner on, has a much longer way to go to come in and get that ball, and that's where you want to bunt it, and he deadens it beautifully.
So a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Only the second at bat today for the Mets with a runner in scoring position. Hefner hit a comebacker in the second, and that was the only chance they had. Andres Torres has been up 3 times today, struck out all 3, twice on call third strikes. In fact, was nearly called out on strikes twice in his last at bat. Took one that everybody thought was a third strike. In fact, it had the pitcher and catcher walking off the field, and then the very next pitch he took another one that was called a third strike. Daniel Murphy waits on deck. Lopez with the 0-2, and Torres jumps back.
Mets with only 3 hits in today's game, unfortunately. Houston only has 3 runs. Excuse me, hits. And the lone run, the Ike Davis home run back in the 4th.
Two and 2 now to Torres. Hefner will be bidding for a complete game in the 9th. The Mets only have 6 complete games this year, 4 of them by R.A. Dickey, the other 2 for Johan Santana, including his no-hitter. And Hefner will try and join them with 3 outs to get. Jeremy got the benefit of that big double play to end the 8th. And Torres gains the golden sombrero, his 4th strikeout of the day.
Well, he tried batting right-handed that time. It didn't work either. Hitting better from the right side of the plate, and boy, it's a tough day right there.
So 2 out. Shopik still at second, and now Daniel Murphy is 0 for 3. Grounded out twice and struck out. Good off-speed pitch by Lopez, 0-1. Well, Torres can take heart. He's still shy of the Mets club record for strikeouts in a game, which is 5.
Who did that?
It's done 4 times, actually. Ron Swoboda, Frankie Tavares, Dave Kingman,
of course,
and most recently in 1993, Ryan Thompson.
Of course.
5 strikeouts in a game. David Wright would be next, but first there's some concern about Murphy, and Ray Ramirez, the trainer, is going to come out. I don't know if he tweaked his back on that last swing or what. He's pointed to the shoulder of Terry Collins. Take a look.
See him grimace there, wince, right shoulder.
Trying to stretch that shoulder out a little bit. But he'll stay in the at bat. 0-2 the count to Murph. He grimaced again as he took that swing.
Well, it makes you bear down more. I mean, every swing's got to count if you're in a little bit of pain. That was his best swing he took all day, to be honest with you, Gary.
Mets trying to win for the 2nd straight day with minimal offense. 3 runs and 8 hits enough yesterday. Just 1 run and 3 hits today. And Murphy lifts one to shallow left center. Coming on is Martinez to grab it. And that retires the side. Jeremy Hefner heads to the hill looking for his first career complete game and shutout. 1-0 going to the ninth. In that last at bat, Ronnie Cedeno will come into play second base as we go to the ninth inning, as Jeremy Hefner, working on a 3-hit shutout, 97 pitches under his belt, will take on the top of the Houston batting order in the top of the ninth. What a day it's been for Hefner. 7 strikeouts, matching his career high, only 1 walk.
He's been outstanding.
Well, the Astros are going to roll out their all-star. Jose Altuve will bat for Brandon Barnes. Altuve getting a rare day off today. Started the first 2 games of the series, went 0 for 7. Well, he'll bat for Barnes, trying to give the Astros a jump here in the ninth inning. Houston has been shut out 12 times this year. The Mets have 11 shutout victories. The Mets have had an incredible number this year of victories in which they've allowed just 1 or no runs, despite the fact that their overall pitching numbers are in the bottom half of the league. They have had more than their share of outstanding starting pitching performances, and another one today by Jeremy Hefner in just his 8th big league start. So here is Altuve pinch hitting, and the 5'5" second baseman takes a strike. Marwin Gonzalez on deck, then Brett Wallace against Hefner in the ninth. Hit sharply toward the middle. Oh, nice diving stop by Tejada. Does he have time? No, not against the speed of Altuve, who beats it out for an infield hit.
I tell you what, that was a bullet, and Altuve can fly. I mean, this is a bullet. I mean, and Tejada gets up quick and releases with mustard on the throw, and he beats it out.
Altuve has 25 stolen bases this year, which Hefner now has to be wary of after he got down that line in a hurry. Marwin Gonzalez, the batter, has one of the 4 hits against Hefner. He pulled one over the first base bag for a double in the 6th. Altuve 25 steals, caught 7 times. That's looking for a bunt, and Gonzalez ran his hand up the bat handle as that throw went to first base, kind of giving it away. Let's keep the bullpen busy with Bobby Parnell on call behind Hefner. Right in at third, looking for the bunt. And again, he ran his hand up the bat handle as the throw went to first. Now, you know, the book says you don't play for the tie on the road.
Right.
Tony DeFrancesco, though, the interim manager for the Astros, looks like he's ready to do just that.
Well, with this very, very weak hitting ball club, maybe you got to scratch him out any way you can.
Try and walk before you run. Strike called to Gonzalez as he was looking to lay it down. Now the question is, was it just one bunt, or will he continue to bunt? Red Wallace on deck.
He'll continue to bunt. You can't hit and run. Got too many guys up there that got Swiss cheese bats.
Altuve runs, swung and missed. Shopik's throw on a hop is not in time. So they could not connect on the hit and run, but Altuve steals the base anyway. And now the tying run in scoring position.
So I take that one back. Switch to hit and run. Good throw has Altuve. It's just not a good throw. If the throw's on the line, he's out.
The foot still bounced and they almost got him.
It was a terrible slide.
Stolen base number 26 for Altuve as Tejada's tagged just a shade too late. So let's see what happens here now with an 0-2 count. Gonzalez trying to get that ball to the right side now to try and get Altuve to third. Don't think they'd have him bunt the third strike.
No. But don't ask me.
Hefner's 0-2 and he fists one foul to stay alive.
Well, that's always, remember our colleague Ron Darling. And I agree with Ronnie. And depending on the hitter, left-hand hitter, the easiest pitch to pull to get the runner over is the ball away. If you want to prevent the guy from pulling, get in that inside corner and jam him. But then again, you don't want to do it to a guy like Dave Kingman, who's a pull hitter. But
and Gonzalez hits it down the left field line, chased by Duda. He can't make the catch. It goes to the corner. The Astros tie the game, and into second base goes Gonzalez. So Duda, just back in the big leagues, moved to left field, made a nice run to the line and got there, but the ball went off his glove. Altuve is in to score. Gonzalez winds up at second, and Hefner's shutout is broken up in the ninth.
Well, he gets there, not quite. Near the wall, off the tip of his glove.
And it would just figure that Duda's first game back in the big leagues, there'd be a tough play like that. Jeremy Hefner came so close, working into the ninth inning for the first time in his career, but he'll leave in a tie game. Can't win it. Now might have a chance to lose it. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed Internet, twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. racing drive by Marwin Gonzalez as the Astros tie it.
Well, the Mets are very fortunate here that this ball did not carry them more strongly off the wall. That could have been a triple.
Instead, it's a double for Gonzalez to tie. Now Brett Wallace hits the liner to Davis to throw to second, not in time for the double play. First pitch thrown by Robert Carson, and Wallace hit a bullet that Ike Davis was able to snag for the first out of the inning.
Jeez.
And that's going to be the only pitch Carson throws.
Very fortuitous. This is a rocket. And good base running by Gonzalez.
Just got his hand back to the bag.
Sure did.
So Carson out. Parnell will come in. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. 1-1 in the ninth. We'll be right back. Life here today. An infield hit, a stolen base, and then a ball not quite caught. Burnham in the ninth inning, and that 1-0 lead disappears. Now he's got to sit on tenterhooks as Bobby Parnell tries to get the last 2 outs in the top of the ninth.
Well, there are Parnell's numbers, and the earned run average looks terrific. It's been an up and down year for Bobby.
Comes in to face Ben Francisco with the go-ahead run at second and 1 out. And Francisco takes a letter high strike. Francisco 0 for 3 today. Flied out, grounded out, popped up. Parnell coming in, throwing that first pitch at 93, and we see this all the time from Bobby. The first pitch will be kind of aimed in there, and then later in the inning he'll be throwing 97, 98. Gonzalez at second, getting a healthy lead, and the curveball misses high. Ball and a strike to Francisco. Scott Moore, a left-hand hitter, waiting on deck. That is not very good. Getting that leadoff hitter out only 60% of the time. One and two now to Francisco.
Well, Francisco's really pulling off. Not seen that in his swing before.
And Shopik's going to go out for a conversation with Parnell, who's pitching for the first time in this series. Last time we saw Bobby, he was giving up the only run in a 1-0 loss against Colorado on Thursday on that ball that Andres Torres misjudged in center field, and then a hit pass to drawn in infield. Kind of reminiscent of this inning. I think I said Torres was Valdespin in center field and misjudged that ball, and here it's Duda who couldn't catch the drive to the line. Gonzalez almost making a break off second as that ball is fouled back. Gonzalez took a couple of running strides toward third and then slammed on the brakes.
Well, it's a distraction for a hitter with 2 strikes on him on a guy who just threw a fastball 97 miles per hour. You're going to steal the base, steal it early in the count.
And this time Parnell gives him a glance. Runner at second, Gonzalez, is Hefner's responsibility. Parnell ahead 1-2 on Francisco.
Nice.
And Shopik knocks down the breaking ball 2-2.
Nice block. Fully anticipating that breaking ball in the dirt. Quick reactions. Watch him smother. Nice.
Just getting to know most of these Met pitchers, having only been around for a couple of weeks. Now the 2-2, and that's low with a fastball at 99. See what we're talking about? From 93 to 99 in the course of one at bat for Parnell.
And that was whenever I had a RBI situation where a base hit late in the game of importance. A reliever came in to face me. Got a fastball first pitch. I was jumping on it. Wouldn't take it.
Now the 3-2. And Francisco gets it through the hole for a base hit. Gonzalez being waved home. Here comes Duda's throw to the plate. The slide is out.
Terrible slide.
Duda makes up for his mistake in left field by throwing out Marwin Gonzalez at the plate to keep the game tied. On the fly to Kelly Shopik, who put on the tag on the rolling Gonzalez for the second out.
It's the right call. It is a terrible slide by Gonzalez. Beautiful blocking of the plate by Shopik. Watch, he's right there. You got one thing to do, and that's knock him on his tail. He never even touched home plate. He's lucky he didn't get his shoulder separated. Terrible slide.
Well, he thought he could get his hand in there, but Shopik dove back to make sure that he couldn't. And Duda got it right there.
Well, Lucas came in and really made a nice play getting rid of it. Nice strong throw. Now Francisco hang with them.
He winds up at second on the throw to the plate. Mets will intentionally walk the left-hand batter Scott Moore, who's in an 0 for 21 slump, and get to the right-hand batter Tyler Green, who had a home run earlier in this series.
You got to knock the catcher down on a play like that. He's blocking the plate.
Well, that's the slide that's been in vogue the last few years, that slide by and hit it with your hand. But when you got a veteran catcher like Shopik, who's not afraid to block the plate, it doesn't necessarily work that way. And apparently Marwin Gonzalez was also thrown out of the game after arguing the call.
He never touched home.
Oh, no question he didn't. Tried to get the hand in, never got it there, and Dave Rackley, the rookie home plate umpire, threw him out.
That's just a terrible slide.
And that's it. He threw him out of the game after he threw his helmet and said something, and Tony DeFrancisco didn't get there early enough to rescue him. So now 2 out and 2 on, still a 1-1 game, and here's Tyler Green, who's 0 for 3 today. 2 for 11 in the series, including a mammoth home run. And he tries to hold on the breaking ball, but he went around. Tom Hallion with the call, 0-1. Francisco now at second and Moore at first. A run is in here in the ninth. But 2 plays by Duda crucial to the inning. One not made and one brilliantly made. Late swing foul, and Parnell's ahead 0-2.
0-2 from Parnell, and Shopik knocks down another breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2.
He does a good job of blocking. Good anticipation.
Front and center in this inning. Couldn't make a good throw on the Altuve stolen base, but he's knocked down several curveballs in the dirt and did a great job blocking the plate on Marwin Gonzalez. Now it's 1-2. And it's well high to Green. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Snyder, the Houston catcher, would be next. Two on, 2 out, 2-2 to Tyler Green. And he stays alive. Parnell really bringing it up there now. 98, 99 miles an hour.
And he's got zing. It's a far cry from that first fastball he threw at 93 to start the.
And it really makes you wonder, because that's an old story now with Bobby. Comes in and he's not unleashing his best fastball right out of the bullpen. You wonder whether he's warming up properly.
Well, when you come in with men on base, and that's why I think a lot of relievers aren't used to it, because they start inning. The urgency of coming in with men on base, you've got to bring your best stuff from the get-go.
Again, the 2-2. And he comes inside with the fastball. Now it's a full count, so that means an automatic start for the base runners. Parnell came in the game with a runner at second and 1 out. He's given up a single and an intentional walk. Now he's 3-2 on Green. So Francisco and Moore will be running. 3-2 coming. And a tapper back to Parnell. And that'll do it. So the Astros get just the 1 to tie. Duda couldn't corral Gonzalez's fly ball, but he made up for it by throwing out Gonzalez at the plate. On the fly to Kelly Shopik, who does a great job of blocking the plate. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, part of the batting order coming up for the Mets in a 1-1 game. Four and 5 hitters coming up. Jose Altuve, who scored the tying run, stays in the game at second base. Justin Maxwell, who's missed this whole series with a bruised finger, comes into play center field. And David Wright will lead off the last of the 9th against Wilton Lopez, who begins his second inning of relief. That's a 1-0 lead going to the 9th. The Astros tied it, but boy, the way that inning went, they could have had a whole lot more. Bullet to first base off the bat of Brett Wallace for the first out. Duda's throw to the plate to get Gonzalez for the second out. And so the Mets in a tie game in the bottom of the ninth as Wright leads off. And David takes high from Lopez, 1-0. Mets have had 4 walk-off wins this year. The last one came July the 5th against the Phillies. David Wright had the game winner in that one. Ball and a strike to Wright, who's 3 for 7 in his career against Wilton Lopez. Ike Davis, who's responsible for the only Met run today, is on deck, and then Lucas Duda, who was right in the middle of all the action in the top of the inning. And David golfs one to right field, slicing away from Francisco, but he gets over there for the first out.
Well, has Ike got another one in him? Francisco runs that down easily.
So 1 out and nobody on. And here's Davis, who parked one well up in the Pepsi porch, estimated at 420 feet, leading off the 4th inning for the Mets' only run today. Mets have had only 1 base runner since that home run, a single by Kelly Shoppach in the 8th that greeted Lopez, who worked through that inning. And Davis takes it wide for ball 1. There's Duda waiting on deck. Be only fitting in this game, wouldn't it, if Lucas got a chance to put on the finishing touches in the bottom of the ninth?
Yes.
John Roush getting ready in case there's a 10th inning. Lopez behind 2-0.
And Davis hits it in the air to right field. Back goes Francisco onto the track. Right back at the wall. It's out of here! The Mets win the ball game! Ike Davis with a game-winning home run in the bottom of the ninth, his second of the day, and the Mets win it 2-1. Davis with his second career walk-off home run. He provides the bookends today as the Mets win it 2-1.
Home run number 23 and 24 on the day. And let's see the pitch. Right down Broadway. Low in the strike zone. I thought perhaps he might have got under it a little bit too much, but he's got enough of it. What a day for Ike.
A successful ending to the day. The Mets win a series for just the second time since the All-Star break, and Ike hopefully stayed healthy with that spin move. And the ensuing celebration. So the Mets get their 5th walk-off victory of the season. First walk-off home run for the Mets since Angel Pagan hit one off the Pepsi porch last July against St. Louis. Ike Davis with 2 home runs, including the game winner, and he's standing by with Tiffany Simons. Tiffany?
Ike, now you have 24 home runs on the year, 2 today. What was it that you were seeing at the plate?
You know, Lucas Harold, I mean, he was nasty today. I got lucky and caught up to cut her in, and last guy barely got enough of it, and just trying to get a pitch over the plate and put it in play.
Very emotional game for this team as well, coming into ninth with a 1-run lead and then seeing that disappear. How was that for you?
It was awesome. Just, you know, anytime we can get a win, it's awesome. I'm going to get creamed right now.
There you are. All right, be honest. How'd that one feel?
It tastes good. It's whipped cream.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Gary?
All right, Tiffany, big day for Ike Davis. as he hits a pair. He only hit 5 home runs at Citi Field all season, but he hits 1 bomb in the Pepsi porch and 1 wall scraper to right to win it in the bottom of the 9th. His 2nd career walk-off home run as he got just enough against Wilton Lopez.
A sinker that didn't sink. Stayed straight right down the pipe. And a big day for Ike and the Met. Oh, reverse spin at home plate.
Hasn't he ever heard of Kendrys Morales? I would stay away from that.
Goodness gracious.
Mets take 2 out of 3 from the Astros. The game summary brought to you by Jeep. Get a great deal on a legendary Jeep vehicle at the Jeep Summer Clearance event. Jeremy Hefner was tremendous today. Went 8 innings, allowed a run on 5 hits, and the Mets win it in the bottom of the 9th. Ike Davis the hero as the Mets win it 2-1. More coming up from Flushing in a moment.